Should you sell all your crypto? In this video, we're going to take a look at what happened in today's market, and I'm going to give you the overview on the series of events that led this meltdown happen. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified about this time-sensitive videos. Also, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take this information and any advice here seriously, okay? This is my personal opinion and take it with a grain of salt. All right, let's get started. So it's been a hell of a day. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a bloody red day in all markets, from crypto, from the stock markets, from the equity markets. It's been rough. It's been a rough day. Okay, so there's a massive sell-off in the market right now, and the reason being is that cryptocurrencies and stocks are considered risky assets. So big funds, hedge funds are trying to unload or mitigate the risk as much as possible, which is causing a sell-off, and then the retail investors is panicking, and therefore it's a series of events that leads to another liquidation event, and that's where we are right now. Okay, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart so we can have a clear understanding of what is happening. Okay, so Bitcoin right now, it's bleeding, and it's bleeding a lot, and it had a drop of about 12%, and it's very likely that it's not gonna stop here, right? I'm not sugarcoat it. This is the reality. Okay, 12% drop in Bitcoin in pretty much 24 hours. It's not easy to absorb. Okay, so let's be honest here. Let's be real, and we are definitely in a situation that we're not gonna recover soon. Okay, at least that's what I think. I'm not a bear, I'm not a bull. I'm just like seeing what's happening, and I'm adapting to the market. Okay, and what the chart is saying is basically saying that we're going down, right? If you don't know what happened in the last few weeks, we were trading into this descending triangle right here, and then we broke down above, then we went down back below, we broke down the triangle, and then we traded into this range, okay, into the 35 and 34,000. Then we broke down below, and then we broke down below to this low about 30,331. So it is my expectation that we're going to break the 30,000, and then also we're gonna break the 28, because that's where the next liquidity is sitting right now. And there is a chance that we could dip down below up to $25,000. Okay, so the question is, should you sell your crypto? That's completely up to you, and that depends on your risk tolerance, and depends on the fact of, are you comfortable in holding these positions or these cryptos at a loss for probably a year and a half, 2 years, who knows? Because right now things are looking very bearish, and yes, we might have some bounces back and forth, but I do believe that we are in a bear market, and you have to take that into consideration. So it's completely up to you. You are in control of your crypto. Again, in theory, if you don't sell, you are not losing anything. But that also brings the fact that you are keeping these positions at a loss for a very long time, right? So, and altcoins are bleeding way more than Bitcoin. It's really up to you. It depends on your strategy, and if you believe in crypto long term, probably holding on these positions would benefit for you in the long term. Okay, so that's something that you need to really understand, and make that your call, and be confident in your decisions and stick with it. okay? But be prepared on the fact of the idea that we could drop down even to 20K, you know, like it's definitely it's on the cards, and we cannot be so naive about this, okay? So that's the outlook of Bitcoin, okay? So, but what really happened today that led to this meltdown even further was the depegging of the UST stablecoin. So if you're not familiar with the UST stablecoin, it's basically the stablecoin of the Terra LUNA ecosystem, okay? And in theory, it should be backed by the value of the dollar, meaning that for 1 UST, you have a purchasing power of $1, okay? But because this stablecoin is backed by an algorithm that maintains the peg, and if you do not know what a peg means, is that, you know, it's the value basically matched to the dollar, that can get lost, and once it gets lost, it goes below $1. So as you can see right now, it's 93 cents, okay? So you basically lost 7% of the value in the last 24 hours, okay? And there was a series of events that led to this, okay? So on Saturday, I always watched my Anchor protocol position, and I saw there was a massive outflow of UST from Anchor protocol. I got very worried about that, and I immediately removed my position from Anchor protocol and sold all my UST because I was not feeling comfortable with what was happening. So 285 million of UST stablecoin were sold on Saturday, which led to a massive FUD and panic event into Twitter, and more people went to the Anchor protocol, which is the protocol where it was basically offering a 18% APY. I'm gonna show it to you. Basically this protocol right here, which was offering an 80% APY on the stablecoin, okay? So bear in mind that this protocol right here had a $20 billion locked in this protocol. So right now there's only $11 billion, and there was pretty much like a bank run, okay? People fled and trying to remove the capital from the UST, and they went into exchanges and sold their UST for another crypto or another stable coin. So there was a massive panic event. And once that happens, of course, the price of the UST drops because the algorithm cannot keep up with amount of UST being sold, okay? And also because it's part of the UST, because it is part of the Terra ecosystem, there's one thing that happens, and it's basically, it's the minting of UST and the minting of Terra LUNA, okay? So let me pull up the drawing board so you can understand this as well. All right, so here's how the UST maintain its peg, and also how the Luna token, which is a native token of the Terra ecosystem, plays a massive role into this pegging system, okay? So if there is a lot of demand, okay, for UST, okay, what happens is that the supply of the UST token, of course, gets increased by the algorithm. And what it does is that for one UST minted, one Luna token gets burned, okay? Which in turn will decrease the circulating supply of Luna and making Luna appreciate over time and making more like a scarce asset, right? And also for the people that are staking Luna, they will get rewarded by this whole process with staking rewards, so it makes the entire economy move further, right? But the problem is that when the demand of UST goes down, that's when the problem are starting to arise. Because if the demand goes down, then the price starts to fall, okay? And the way the algorithm maintains the peg, right, is that and the way the algorithm maintains the peg is by burning UST, okay? So when the demand goes down, let's draw this line, right? For 1 UST that it's burned, okay, 1 Luna token is minted, which is completely the opposite, right? And the problem is that once you mint more Lunas, the price of Luna goes down, okay? Because there's more circulating supply and the price goes down, right? There's more supply and therefore the price goes down to actually maintain the peg, because by burning the supply of UST, okay, will reduce the circulating supply and in theory should bring back the value of the token to $1. But the thing is that in order for the algorithm to adjust to this, it takes time. And recently, the Luna Foundation made a big purchase of Bitcoin in order to also have the community to have more confidence in the stablecoin, because in their mind, the token is backed by Bitcoin as well. So, but what happened in this, pretty much you could say, a coordinated attack towards the protocol, is that they basically have sold their entire stash of Bitcoin in order to maintain the peg. But the thing is that once they've started selling their Bitcoin, right? So there was this Twitter from 4 hours ago that Luna just emptied their BTC reserves wallet at 1.4 billion. So what they did, they sold their Bitcoin at a loss, okay, in order to maintain the peg, but that caused another effect, because once you have the price of Bitcoin going down, okay, also all the altcoins are gonna suffer. So therefore Luna had a massive drop in the last 24 hours. Where is it? I think it's 50. It dropped 40. It dropped. It had a massive drop in the last 24 hours. It dropped 34%. All right, and that because of two reasons, right? Number one, because the supply of Luna is increasing, because they are minting Luna and they're burning UST to keep the peg ongoing. But also with the market condition, the price of Luna is going down, so people are panic selling, and therefore it's a vicious circle that hopefully is going to get resolved, because of course it is a protocol where people have locked in a lot of money. And if you see the market cap of UST, it's $17 billion. Okay, that's a lot of money that has been locked into this protocol. So this is not actually the first instance where the peg of the UST stablecoin has happened. It did happen as well in 2021. Yes, here it happened in 2021 when we had the crash, and then the peg got restored a few days later. But the bad one was at the end of 2020, and then the peg eventually got back up because the algorithm basically was burning UST and was minting Luna. Okay, so that's also one of the reasons why we also had that cascade of events that led the Luna Foundation selling their Bitcoin, and that caused more liquidations and therefore pricing going down. Okay, Also, just as a side note, also Michael Saylor posted this Twitter saying Monday morning it's time to get back to work with his face working at McDonald's. So it's a lot of bad news after bad news after bad news that's leading to this overall situation. So my consideration is that you have to be careful right now. This is not the time where you should think about buying the dip strategy, because things can get lower, right? Can go lower than this, and I'm most certainly sure that they will. So this is the time where you can observe, and if your strategy is dollar cost averaging, go ahead and do that, but be prepared on the fact that we might go lower than this. Okay, so I hope that you got value out of this video. So make sure to stay vigilant, watch what's going on closely, and most importantly, do not abandon the crypto market. Do not make the mistake of completely forgetting about crypto and then waking up a year later, 2 years later, when the bull market has already started. Okay, so keep following the market. Eventually, things are gonna get better, because again, right now the situation is not the best, but I am confident that things will get better. We don't know when, but that's the current situation. All right, so make sure you stay vigilant and be safe out there. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified about this time sensitive videos. I'll see you in the next.